Okay, guys. So I know it's been forever since I've updated these, but yeah, I'm gonna get on it, guys. I know. I apologize. Okay, so this is season 0, episode, believe 10. I think it's called the lady with the pretty mask or something like that. Anyways, it's about a teacher. So it starts with a teacher that she's called Chono, and she's really pretty, and she's always checking her makeup because she's vain. Plus, she knows she can wrap guys around her fingers. She's one of those types. So there's that. She's also incredibly strict on rules. So kind of a bitch. So, anyways, it starts out with her walking to school, and she sees a student, and the student has like a little, well, in Spanish it's called monito, but it's basically like a little toy or figurine or something. And it's basically just like a little panda head, if I remember right, and it's just hanging off a briefcase. And she sees it and she confiscates it, and she tells the student, "You shouldn't have stuff like this. This breaks rules." And she's like, "What the hell? It's just a little thing." But yeah, she's that kind of lady. So she confiscates it and tosses it in the trash. So, anyways, she's really good at playing games with guys because she knows she's pretty, and guys are like that, and so is she. So she plays games, and she starts swaying the vice principal for stricter rules. She starts, not so much flirting, but she has her ways. So they're talking, and he asks about her having an arranged marriage interview soon, and she dismisses it. And she's all flirty, and she's like, "Oh, I don't really like going to those things." Of course she does. She likes to be admired. She likes to be seen. She's vain. But she loves the attention. So it jumps to a girl asking Taya for advice. It's her friend, and she likes Joey, but she doesn't know how to show it. And she wants to give him a secret present. Wink, wink. Just kidding. No. So they go. They're like, "Oh, well, who would know?" So they ask Yugi, and Yugi's like, "Well, what do they like?" He's like, "Lewd videos," which is sexy stuff. And they're like, "No, she can't give them that." And I was like, "Yes, she can." But anyways, um, basically, he's like, "You know what? My grandpa has toys at his toy store. Duh." He's like, "Maybe he can have something. Maybe he has something." So they go to the store, and she finds an awesome present. It's actually a good idea. So they go back to the teacher. So it jumps back to the teacher at her arranged marriage meeting, and the guy's just giving her compliments, and he's laying it on thick. She's like, "Wow, you're so pretty. How are you available? How are you single?" Stuff like that. So a kid comes up to her playing behind her, and he trips and he grabs her dress, and she just turns around like and just totally freaks out, and she's bitching him out, and she's basically calls him a brat. She's like, "Kids these days," and the guy's just like, "Wow," he's just turned off. He's just like, "Wow, you're not the person I thought you were." And he walks away. And she's like, "What the hell?" And she gets pissed off that the guy got disinterested in her. Yes, there are girls like that. Yeah, I know girls like that. So back at school, Taya and her friend are hiding the present in Joey's desk so he can find it. So the next day, sorry, I'm reading it off like tiny, tiny lettering. So the next day, the teacher is talking to the vice principal, and he asks her how the arranged marriage went, and she's like, "Oh, he really wasn't my taste." And she's like, "Oh wait, I have to go," and then she runs to the bathroom and she gets pissed, starts breaking shit and tossing or kicks a trash can. And I think she breaks a mirror. I'm not too sure. And she gets pissed, and she's like, "What? What the hell does he care about my arranged marriage?" She's like, "I was gonna turn him down anyways. That's my hobby," because she's that kind of bitch. Yeah. So, anyways, um, yeah. So she gets all pissed off, and she starts noticing how her makeup's messed up. So she puts on more makeup. Uh, so yeah, it's actually a little funny because she goes from like pissed off to concerned about her makeup. So Joey shows up and finds his present, but before he can open it, the teacher looks at it and picks it up. And she's like, "What's this? A toy?" He's like, "It's not my toy." She's like, "I don't even know what it's doing in there." She's like, "It's not yours." He's like, "Nope." She's like, "Well then, you won't mind if I open it up?" So she opens it, she starts putting it together, and she's like, "It's a puzzle with a message." And just as she's starting to do all that, Taya starts freaking out because she's a really good friend. She's watching out for her friend. She's trying to help her out. So Taya stands up and says it was a joke from her to save her friend. So she gets in trouble and she has to sit down with the teacher. And she explains that the rules are too strict, Taya to the teacher. And she says, well, what if I do a petition and showing the teacher? So the teacher starts, she's like, okay, sure. If you can get some signatures, totally, I'll listen to that. But in the back of her mind, she's like, stupid brat. She's like, she can't stand her. She's like, how dare you, question me. And so she starts going around and nobody will sign her petition. As it turns out later on, you find out that the teacher starts talking to the principal and other students and telling them that she's a rule breaker. She doesn't want anything good happening. She's just there to cause problems. So she explains. Hold on. Okay, sorry. so, so any student that signs a petition will get targeted and disciplined. So they go back to getting signatures and start getting bullied. And Joey comes to the rescue and hits one of the guys. So once again, they all go back and get in trouble, and they go back to the teacher. And the teacher's like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I might just suspend you all. And of course, you're like, oh my god. So, yeah. And then she sends them out and sends the bullies in. And she talks to the bullies, and basically she just set it up where, they help her out. They bully her to not get any signatures. They bully Taya, and they'll get all their mistakes erased, which is kind of corrupt, but whatever. All right, so. Again, teacher's name is Chono. No idea why. No idea what it means either. So if you guys have any ideas on that, comment below. Anyways, so Chono was just using him, and Yugi sees this, and as soon as he sees this, he's like, "Oh no, this is bad!" And instantly the pharaoh comes out, and the teacher walks out and starts walking down the hall, and the pharaoh challenges to a game, a jigsaw puzzle game, and the teacher's like, "All right, fine." At first she's hesitant. She's like, I don't even listen to you. You're a student. He's like, fine, but how about this? He's like, if you play this game with me, I'll do anything you say. She's like, anything? She's like, anything. He's like, well, I can't have kids trying to discredit me, so I can just suspend him if I don't like the way he does things, or if he loses, basically. So they have to rearrange a. So Yugi basically grabs two mirrors, throws them in the air, and they smash. And he's like, we're going to play a game. Basically, you have to put this mirror back together so you can see a reflection. And they start playing, and he's like, hold on. We're going to blindfold ourselves. So they blindfold themselves, and they start putting the mirror back together. Which I was like, okay, that's actually a pretty cool game. And neither of them could see. So, of course, the teacher's, being smart, and she's like, he has his blindfold on, so he can't see me. So she takes off hers and she starts putting it back together and cheating. And as soon as she starts cheating, the pharaoh's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is a shadow game. She's like, what is a shadow game? He's like, don't worry about it. It's cool. You'll figure it out later. My words. Alright, so she cheats and she gets penalized for it. So basically, she puts her mirror together, and because she cheated, she sees her reflection as like a pruny old hag, and she's like, oh my god, and she freaks out because she has the outward appearance of a pruny old hag, basically, and it doesn't matter how much makeup she puts on, because the more strict on rules, the more bitchy, the more corrupt she is, the more her makeup falls off and her true self comes out, and she freaks out, and basically, game over, she loses, and it jumps to the next morning, right? And she starts talking to the principal, and the principal asks her, he tells her, he's like, the petition you started, it's for stricter rules, it's going really good. She's like, good, I can't stand these little brats. This is her thinking. Good, I can't stand these little brats. And as soon as she thinks that, her face starts cracking. She's like, oh, I have to go. So she runs out. And as she runs out, all the guy teachers and the principal are like, man, she puts on too much makeup. So, yeah. And she goes back to the bathroom. She starts putting on more makeup. She's like, oh my god, recently my makeup just doesn't stay on anymore. And that's the end of that. So that is Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0. I think that's episode 10. I'll have it labeled correctly. It's just I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been too long. So because I've been behind on these, I'm actually gonna I will upload enough to catch you guys up to where we should be at this week. So look forward to those, guys. All right, guys, that'll be it for now. King Sliders out.